Alrighty. Get this thing up on full screen.
Welcome to How to Pick Whitetails
Up close personal tonight. Well, that's gonna be shaky.
in the barn.
Yep. So let us know that the audio is all good. I'm gonna try to stop touching this darn table. Sit back. So yes,
It's a little wobbly.
yeah, everybody's gonna get seasick. So let us know how the audio and everything sounds. I'll check it quick on my phone. See how it's going. But
Intro sounded good.
yep. Yep. So Chad Fest was a success. I will definitely say that.
Yeah. And for those of you that didn't see our post, we were able to raise just shy of $2,000
Mm-hmm. For the Rotary Sunshine Camp.
Rotary Sunshine Camp of Rush, New York. That will feed many children.
Oh, might feed them all summer.
It might, depending on what they're feeding them. What do they feed them?
Steak and lobster.
Steak, prime rib, lobster. All right, make it a week.
Yeah, maybe a week out of it for the kids, but yeah. So we did it there at Solitude Brewing with Pertner Outdoors and Hunter Proof. Nate and me kind of turned into the Walmart greeters at the event. Nate was working the front table and I was working the raffle tables. Just kind of was the way it all shook out with folks, and I thought we had people lined up to do those raffles and stuff, and we were going to be able to mingle more, but all good.
I knew I was going to be at the front desk.
Mm-hmm.
So, which I didn't really mind it,
No,
honestly.
it was good. It was
In
a
the
good place.
beginning, when everyone was walking in at once, it was kind of hard to. I had to repeat myself like
A lot.
100 times in 5 minutes. But besides that,
Yep.
I think maybe make a poster next year with like just
This
saying,
is there, this is there.
if you have sheds out back in the beer, if you or wherever,
Mhm.
however we're doing it next year.
Yep. I think that'll definitely help. And then with that, how many people do you think we had?
I was saying 200.
I was gonna say we were over 150 was my thought,
I would say 200 or
and there
pushing
was
200.
definitely over 200 sheds.
Yeah, there's a lot of sheds.
Mm-hmm.
Tables full,
Tables.
as you can see in some of the pictures.
Yep. Um,
What was the biggest? What was the score of the biggest side?
Biggest single side was I think in the low 70s, I want to say,
Solid.
which would put them with an 18-inch spread credit. Both sides would put them in like, well, that would be without the spread credit, so it'd be like 170 with the spread credit. So really solid buck. And then match set I think was just under 180. That guy that won with match set last year was the guy that won single side. He found the single side to that match set buck this
From
year,
last year.
and he was the one that had the single side one. And then,
There were some impressive antlers coming through.
yep, yep. And then some folks that were, like I said, we've always done an honor system. So with, some of the sheds that were there, they didn't enter them because they were from Kansas or I forget what the other group had their sheds from.
Saskatchewan.
There's a Saskatchewan sheds there too. They were a head turner at the front table. So yeah, so all in all, it was great. Some of the highlights and sponsors of the event, kind of want to highlight them. Heritage Outdoor Sports, Huntworks, in no particular order. Bless you. Hunter Proof, Pertner Outdoors, Whitetail Properties, Doc's Fish and Tackle, Napa of Rush. Um, I think that's Whitetail Company out of Buffalo. They donated a bunch. New York Outdoor News. We should have wrote all these down. So, but I think that's pretty much everything. So there's a good.
I think you covered
Yep.
all the sponsors.
Yep. So yeah, and then we were able to put together a lot of nice baskets with the sponsors, and we were able to throw together some nice baskets. So everybody was happy with the quality and the quantity of baskets. So if we were,
We definitely ended up with more baskets than we anticipated.
I don't even know what the final count was. I think we probably
We
had,
had to have 15, 18 baskets.
I was gonna say not quite 20 probably, but we do
Well,
have shirts still available if anybody's looking for a shirt. They're on closeout special. So whatever that number is, just make a donation and we'll donate to the Sunshine Camp.
100 proof shirts.
100 proof shirts, we got some of them in. Our knives, which we can show it right up nice and close, Nate.
Right, this setup. We gave a couple of them away.
100 proof whitetails right there. So nice little. I think these are perfect. Put in your turkey pack for turkey season. That's a perfect size knife for breasting on a bird.
Thanks to that's the size knife I used to gut my deer.
Yeah, I like those like nice little nimble 2-inch blades too for field dressing deer. So, got knives available, shirts available. Um,
Got more hats in the works.
mhm.
We're gonna restructure the shirt thing.
Mhm.
Like we're just gonna set up an account with Volcom.
Yep. For our apparel going forward, got a new batch of hats coming as well.
Camo hats this year.
Yep. Oh, that's not the right words, but I'm not gonna type it. But yeah, we do have. I actually found them after the fact. They guys didn't get thrown in with the raffle bundles, but we have 2 6-month subscriptions for New York Outdoor News. So I figured we'd give them away on the podcast.
Yeah.
So if anybody is interested, drop a comment in and just say, I don't know, end to win or something.
And
Or just,
are
or
we
just,
doing the 6 month subscription right now?
we'll do it in a future one. We'll leave it out ahead of time.
I was gonna say,
We'll do a bundle of giveaways or whatever. We got some of those. I won a raffle basket, so
I didn't get in any. Well, I got in some of the bigger ones.
yep, I got in a couple of the gun boards. I didn't end up winning either of those.
It was also sponsored by Jeremy Newman.
Yeah, well, we covered the Newman cost, so.
Yeah, it was
But
sponsored by us.
but Newman was gracious enough to allow us to put put one of his fishing charters in as a raffle item. So that one did really well. And then forgot Jason Ellsworth for Ellsworth Cooks. He's doing
The cook for Lee and Tiffany, the Crush,
yeah, Jason Ellsworth.
actually gave away.
Come to your deer camp or
Come
come
to
to your
house,
camp or whatever. And,
He's gonna whip you up something good. That was
Yep.
pretty cool, actually.
yep, that was a pretty neat one. I think Billy's kid won that, and he asked if he could make them chicken fingers. He's like, I guess we're making chicken fingers. So,
All right.
um,
I say I've made chicken fingers. You know, you get the breast, you slice it up, and
mhm.
then you make your own breading.
Yep.
Right. There's James.
Yep.
He's he won one of our knives there. He said, nice and sharp. I won one of them knives.
Yep. Yeah, we got plenty more.
He
So
seems to be happy with it. Yeah, I think we got 8 left.
yeah,
8 or so left. I know there's.
that's my daily carry knife. Really,
I
it's
just
just
say
handy for everything, dude.
they fit comfortable in your pocket. They're nice, something to throw in your backpack or a camping pack or anything, just so you got a knife with you with whatever you're
They
doing.
make great gifts for the holidays.
Yeah, for kids, kids love them.
Every kid needs a pocket knife.
Yeah, ages 12 and under.
Definitely should get one.
Yeah.
So yeah, was a huge thanks to Pertinier and all the sponsors. Like I said, Solitude for
It was a lot
hosting
of
us. It was a lot of fun.
Looking forward to
Where it goes for year 6.
where it goes for next year.
Mm-hmm. So
How that all shakes out.
yeah, I think we'll be in good shape. I don't know. Like we'll see if if we just kind of. I mean, we threw it together in like what, a month before the event, really.
Well, we were, I guess, it seemed we're talking about events. This isn't related to Shed Fest, but it could be related to Shed Fest
Mm-hmm.
if we do a little combo. So last year we did a chicken barbecue,
Yep.
and the chicken barbecue went over pretty well, and we gave away a lifetime license of an individual's the winner's choice:
Mm-hmm.
hunting, fishing, bow, muzzleloader,
Yeah.
whatever, small game. And I had a lot of good feedback on the chicken barbecues. A lot of people, a few people asked us this year if we were doing it again because they're going to come back for some more chicken.
Mm-hmm.
But we were talking about possibly doing the chicken, but instead of just selling the dinners, we were thinking about maybe renting a space and doing,
A meet and greet meetup kind of thing.
yeah, meet and greet, maybe do some
Ahead of the
raffles.
head of the deer season party kind of deal.
Yeah, like September.
Yep, I think that's what we were trying to figure out was probably September time frame.
If we were going to do that, we probably should get a hold of the Buckhorn if we're actually going to go through with this.
Yeah, I think that's the best place.
Reserve the weekend.
It's close to our pit, you know. We're enough ahead of time where nothing else should be going on.
And then they supply the bar.
Yep. So that'll be there and available if we end up doing it. Um, I'm just looking at the schedule or
Bo
whatever.
wants to see me work out.
Oh. We were gonna do okay, so funny segue.
Shirt on or off, Bo?
So we were gonna I actually suggested because I was walking into Nate's and we're filming in the barn tonight because Liza's watching Owen Maisie, who's Owen's cousin.
Liza's daycare.
Liza's daycare today.
Shout out to Liza.
Hmm. And she's watching Nora right now too. So I'm sure she's got her hands full in there with the three of them. So thank you, Liza. And I was walking in and I'm like, man, it's cold. And the barn was a little bit iffy service last time. I think we got it figured out now.
Seems to be a lot clearer
It's way clearer.
than what it was.
Yep. And then so I was walking in and I walked past Nate's hot tub on the deck to bring Nora inside. And I come in and I was like, hey, I was like, we should do the show from the hot tub.
Oh man, you get Bo all excited.
Yeah.
You have a crossbow in the background. Two
Oh,
guys in the hot tub together.
Yep. Crossbows and twisted tees.
Crossbows, and twisted tea. Mike's hard.
Yeah, Mike's hard.
Have some Mike.
Of course
Mike
it's
hard.
Mike's. Of course it's Mike's hard when you got two guys sitting in a hot tub.
Uh,
But no, it's something I think we should definitely look at because August is just so busy because that's when we do all of our stand preps and stuff.
well, it's like the last big month of summer. Everyone's cramming everything into August if they haven't gotten it done.
Yeah, so I'm thinking probably not Labor Day week or Labor Day weekend is actually like the last weekend of August this year because of the way it falls. It's actually August 31st is Labor Day weekend. So yeah, I don't know. I mean the 13th and 14th,
Yeah,
maybe.
we'll figure it out.
And probably a Saturday.
I gotta talk to.
Or do we do just a Sunday? I think Sunday might be a little bit easier for folks. Everybody wants to do something on Saturday. You know what I mean?
Well, it also depends on Buckhorn
Yep, that's true.
because I think they're open on Sundays.
Gotcha.
I think they might only rent out Saturdays if we do it there.
I think that one works because of how close we are to your pit.
Well, that and food we could have catered, or we just do the chicken barbecue,
Mm-hmm.
but we'd have to limit tickets.
Well, that's the thing with the chicken barbecue is the chicken barbecue. I think we would do pre-sale only, and then I mean they do like little mini pizzas and stuff like that, and we could just get a bunch of hot dogs and grill up extra stuff too for folks if we needed
You
to.
don't want to be sitting there eating a hot dog, looking at some guy eating a chicken barbecue.
Well, then they should have got on the list earlier. Should have got in line and on time.
Well, the Buckhorn max capacity I think is 150. That's
Yeah,
a
but-
lot of people in that little building.
Yeah, but with the
We could do 2 rounds of chicken.
yeah,
Stuff them
probably
in coolers, keep them warm.
probably could.
We could do 2 rounds of chicken.
Yep. Oh shoot. Did we miss that? We missed the frickin'
Shrimp and loin raffle was the same day as the.
I just saw that looking on their
Yeah, Sunday.
Facebook. Yep.
That's where Grandpa Billy was.
That makes sense.
He said he won $100 on tickets, and he won a box of shrimp and 2 loins.
There you
He
go.
cleaned house.
That's a good day. Yeah, I can't find their hours. Oh, yes, I can. So they are closed on Saturday, so Saturday would probably be the day we would do the event. Yep. So, but yeah, I
But
think
yeah, we'll get a date narrowed down.
get word out.
get some word out, make some posts, start making up tickets. How did we sell tickets last year?
Just in person.
Well, I know, but did we make, I think this year, if we do it, we actually have to make
Print.
tickets.
Print tickets. Sure.
No, like stubs.
Yeah. So we used just theater tickets last year. And they got their
Yeah, they're just
half.
your regular blue
Yep, theater
raffle
tickets.
tickets.
Yep.
Whatever.
So yeah, I think make it right up with the ticket number right on it. I think that would be nice.
We're getting pretty savvy with the computers now, so
It's all AI.
AI will make us a ticket and we'll print them off.
Yep. So funny story, like AI did the Shedfest shirts, and they came out freaking sweet. Actually, I just remembered I have Liza's for you right here.
All right. Yeah, they came out real nice. And this is the guy that did these shirts. We're thinking about gonna have him start doing ours.
Yep. And then that way people can order their sizes and colors that they want. Um, and different styles of whether it's a hoodie or a shirt or whatever. It'll be like an Old Tin Cup tab on their website.
Yeah.
That they'll be able to do that with.
So that's post and pre-event update,
Mm-hmm.
merch update,
Yep.
turkey season.
We're gonna go shoot our guns. Platt hooked us up with a bunch of targets. Thank you, Platt.
So we got to go shoot our guns. Get your guns out and get them shot.
Yep.
Little reminder, because let's say the 16th. So man, we're 2 weeks out.
Yep.
2 weeks out, we'll be turkey hunting.
Yeah.
How many people? Any of you guys run cameras for turkeys?
I usually get some out here.
I still
Next
have
couple
all
weeks.
of mine up from deer season. So whichever ones are
Yeah.
still or that are not dead, are on turkey duty.
Sure. I don't know if youth weekend is this weekend or if it's next weekend. I can't remember right off.
It's usually
I'm not a youth
2
anymore, so
weekends
that's why.
before. See, Bill is watching. He just should have done it in the hot tub for Bill.
Bo with the laugh face, and he says, "Have you guys ever shot a bird with your bow?" No.
No, cross-bended with a crossbow a couple years ago.
You just gotta wind him right up. No, I've never shot a bird with a bow or a crossbow. Taken my bow out a couple times, but never been fortunate enough to even pull back, let alone release an arrow on him. So we'll see. Like Bo said the other day when I put my bow up for sale.
See,
he
that's
knew I
what we
was gonna
should
go to a
do this
crossbow.
year. That's
What's
what we
that?
should do this year. One of us go with the gun, the other one go with the bow, and we rotate.
Clean up.
That way, if we get them in close enough,
Yeah, the other guy's
Shoot
there
him
for
with a
cleanup, or the other guy's there for cleanup.
yeah,
Freaking whiff him.
yeah.
Dust his
That's
ass.
what we got to do. One guy totes the shotgun, the other guy totes the
Yep, could do that.
bill. 26th and 27th is youth hunt.
Yeah, that'll work.
There you go. Everybody's birds will be dead.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we got we'll be out. I mean, last year we got your bird on camera.
Well, sort of. I didn't even know it was in camera.
Hey.
I just told him, I said, "You good?" He's like, "Sure." Bang, and you see all the brush. We might have actually played it.
Yeah.
See all the brush in front of you just get cut down.
Yeah.
Holy! I said, "Are you good?"
Yeah, no, I thought that you were I thought you were asking me for clarifying. I thought he was asking me if I was good, meaning, if I wanted to shoot a bird too, and I was like,
No, my barrel was kind of pointed somewhat in front of you, and I was like, "Was this good?"
yeah,
'Cause I had my
but
bead on his head.
so where we had to set up that morning, you had the big tree. I was like with a little tree and a little rose bush that I was kind of behind. So I was filming out in front, but I could just see the edge of the woods where the birds ended up coming out, or kind of coming to the edge of. So I wasn't even watching that, but I had the camera panned over so I could see them when they walked into frame. Well, come to find out, like Nate said, they were standing on the edge of the field when he said, "Are you good?" And I said, "Yeah." And then the gun went boom. I think it was right before I even said, "Yeah." I think it was like, "Yeah." Boom.
I knew it was
So,
gonna clear you.
well, that's a little payback for when I made him watch that bird that one opening morning. We had to watch this bird come all the way across this field, and then I made Nate wait a good minute, 2 minutes while he strutted around the decoys.
Yeah.
Was the payback. Nate's like, you held me off. So,
Well, the best turkey ground I had, I ain't got no more.
yeah, yeah.
That's all right. That's all right. That ground was good for the short time I had it.
Mm-hmm.
Pulled two really good bucks off of there and big old turkey. Your biggest turkey, I believe.
The bigger spurs, yeah. Bigger spurs.
Should have had two turkeys that day.
Mm-hmm.
Except we
Should have had maybe 3 turkeys that day.
we got a little ambitious.
Yeah. Did you guys sell your bow, and if so, what kind of crossbow are you getting? I'm getting a like an old school medieval one that's like all wood with a horsehair string on it bow. That's my plan for a crossbow.
Solid. I'm trying to find Van Helsing's.
Oh, there you go, little pistol shooter
A
one.
little pistol shooter, like machine gun crossbow. It's got the drum barrels on it.
Boy, don't give any archery manufacturers any kind of ideas.
I think Van Helsing already did.
Yeah. Um, Adam comments in, great turnout for Shedfest, guys. Great event. Glad we made it out. Yeah, Adam, thank you for coming out, and thanks to everybody for coming out. I mean, we had folks come out from way on the other side of Utica. Jason Ellsworth lives out of state now, so he popped over because he was up in the area anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then the guys from Wells. Oh, sorry, I forgot to shout out the Wellsville NDA guys. They
Uh-huh.
came up and did their raffle boards, and
Yep, they were definitely a big part of it.
yep, they raised some
Added to
good.
the fun.
They raised some good money dollars too. So their raffles were separate. Um, Theirs went directly to them as a branch and an
But they
organization.
but they did add that gun raffle element that we weren't willing to spend the money on.
Well,
You know what
well,
I
and
mean?
then we have to have an FFL and everything like that. They
Yeah.
have that all covered, already.
So it was
So
actually really nice that those guys came, did
yeah,
their thing. They
they
made a little money for their
ended up doing
organization.
3 of those.
Yeah.
They ended up selling 3 gun boards, and we only sold, I think, 2. I think we only did 2 boards.
3, I think.
Well, 2.5 because the last one was only half sold out. We drew 2 names. We drew 2 cards before we got the winner. So that was funny, but yeah, it was like Nate said, it was just under 2 grand of net, and that was after the shirts, some of the miscellaneous cost items like the bow and that kind of stuff that we raffled and that stuff. We got those at cost from Huntworks. So, you know, yeah, after the expenses were taken out and everything like that, we were just under 2 grand. So,
And the stuff people brought for the youth raffle.
oh yeah,
I wasn't expecting like half a table full of stuff for the
yeah,
youth. Like I thought it was just kind of like me, and we're gonna do like one prize for the
basket
youth,
thing
one
or something.
basket, because we're just giving out youth tickets, 12 and under. As they walked in, they got a free ticket.
Yep.
But this table was loaded. All the people that participated brought something and just tossed it
Yeah,
on
and
that
there
table
was.
for a kid to go up and grab.
Well, now that you say there might have been 200 people there, I think you're right because I want to say there was like almost 30 freaking kids there or better.
Well, when they were doing the youth raffle, that
The cubby was full,
oh yeah, that room there with all the raffle baskets was full.
and Nora was just snoozed out in the corner in her stroller during the whole commotion of the youth raffle drawing. Actually, Donnie Lucas, who's listened to the show before, he's commented in. His daughter won first pick on the youth, so she took that brave bow that you
Yep,
went
the
and
bear,
bought. Yep, that bear
the
bow.
bear ball.
Yep.
Youth bear
So,
She was smiling ear to ear.
oh yeah, yeah. I wish we'd thought about putting that up. Hang on, I could probably put the picture
It's on the
up.
website.
Yeah, it's on the event page and stuff. But I know I sent it to you. So yeah, everybody was happy with the events. The Newman Charter was a hit. The Ellsworth thing, because those are 2 things you don't see. You see gun boards, you see that kind of stuff, and raffle baskets, but those are 2 really unique and cool items for the area. So, um, Yep. So. Oh, there's Nate's big deer. Make sure to get him in the picture.
There she is.
All teeth.
Yeah. And I felt bad every time we took a picture of her with the bow because I took one with her and her dad.
Mm-hmm.
The picture you got and the picture I got, they're looking into the sun,
Yep.
squinting.
Yep. So.
There it is. That's the one I take.
Yeah. Shout out to viewer Donnie. There it is.
Yeah, apparently I worked with his brother.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Small world, dude.
Victor.
Um. Yeah. And that's some of the. This was best single side. You can see it right there. That kid's holding it. His dad was the one that found it. He had the best match set last year. Um, and then there's all the winners for the categories. I won Dink, but I gave up my ticket to the gentleman in the plaid because he had, I don't know, probably 160-inch deadhead.
Yeah, I was just like,
And he got beat out by Austin on the end in the gray, who it's tough to see in the photo on the screen, but he's got the two locked bucks that he found dead. The kid in the red, he found the one shed. His dad found the other one and matched that up. I think that was the best match set. Was his set actually. And then that gentleman on the end, he's the one that picks up all the big ones. He picks up almost I think 60 freaking year or something crazy. There, you might be able to see that one better. So that big deadhead, I gave my ticket to from the Dink category, and then there's Austin with his match deadhead set. And I think the guy in the plaid ended up winning a cell cam, is what he ended up picking.
yeah.
So, oh, here we go. I mean, you definitely ain't gonna be able to see this, but there's the Dinks.
Looks like you're doing the. Can't even see it. Looks like you're doing the Italian, like very good.
Yeah. Well, we had to try to do the fish pose with the hold it way out here. Should have brought it tonight. We'll put it on the podcast maybe next week. Um, but yeah, I had a little acorn, pretty much. Billy had a little fork side, and then the other gentleman there who is, his name's gonna escape me, and I apologize. He had like a nice like 3-inch spike.
Yeah.
Met him before. I apologize. Oh, look at that, Nate. I think you're right. That fixed it right instantly. All right, we're just gonna sit in the cold for the last minute. Last half hour, we're gonna run it with the door open.
Metal Barnes.
Yep, it's a big tin can.
Well, anything. Oh, Teddo's coming in.
Oh, what's
What?
up, buddy?
Yeah, I don't know. What else we got going on? We got turkey season.
Habitat season's pretty well wrapped up.
Yeah.
Um, was looking at some of the project stuff. I got a few consults, and on the real estate side of it, it's freaking ripping right now with the weather breaking, dude. Buyers
Oh, I
are coming
bet.
out of the woodwork, and got a couple new listings coming that are mine, and obviously the team, Finger Lakes team, we're putting out a listing at least one a week. So trying to keep up with all that, which is fun. The next 4 days, I have a showing somewhere.
Hmm.
So nothing on Easter
That's
though.
good.
Easter's with the family, so I did keep that one open. But Monday, Saturday, Friday, Thursday, yeah. So not Easter, so I guess 4 out of 5 days, close enough. But yep. Had a comment come in.
Yeah, Bo wanted a ride from
Who
the.
the hell came from Utica? I could have got a ride. That was The guy that wanted to buy the Saskatchewan sheds I told you about.
Yeah. Bo hasn't seen the Saskatchewan shed.
The Saskatchewan sheds.
We'll make them famous.
This is another one of them deals like the deer. Look at the shadow. You can see the shadow with you walking in with them in the back.
Can you see it?
Put it lower. Yeah, right there. Yeah.
You got it, Bo?
Yeah.
You see it?
Yeah. Pretty gnarly. It's kind of neat seeing it on the wall.
It's good.
But the Saskatchewaners.
This Saskatchewaners. Pretty impressive.
A lot of stuff going on. Bo says, "Wow."
Ben doesn't even know how he's gonna score it
No, I know how I'm going to score it. Non-typical.
with a tape.
Oh, you want to score it tonight?
No, yeah, I gotta score it tonight.
I don't know. It's going to be, I mean, he's got like probably a 70 frame with just his points and his mass. You know what I mean? And then he's probably got another.
He's a mainframe.
He's gonna be probably close to 200 inches. I would.
He's
think.
a mainframe 10, I guess. Right, and then you throw trash on it.
Well, I'm gonna call this the beam here on this one, so he's actually gonna be a mainframe 6x5.
Look at mass on that though. That is just.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. This dips down.
He's impressive.
I'd have to look at him. I mean, it's gonna be gross. So I mean, it doesn't matter if it's an extra G. You know, G what 1, 2, 3, 4 G4,
Man.
or if it's just extra.
I don't know if I would have shot him because he broke that one.
And you know, Nate, he was probably 3 years old, so we can't
2.
kill him. Well, he was 3 here, so we couldn't kill him because he wasn't a 2-year-old.
Oh.
But that's what Bo said too, 2-year-old. So yeah, but they're a pretty gnarly set of sheds.
Pretty cool.
And I gave them a finger in the knife test. They are a legit set of sheds. Don't know if they are 100% wild or fair chase, but I mean, they're real.
Either way,
They're freaking
it's
real.
impressive whether they're off of a farm or
Well,
not.
the one thing with farm is usually,
according to the story,
you don't get the freaking color like this. You get them like that Wisconsin buck. Did you hear about that one? The new state record that was off a high fence.
oh no,
Yeah. It died. Well, it was shot like 2 or 3 years before that, and the guy tried to pass it off as the new record for Wisconsin. And it was like, you know how like in the deer farm they're almost like bleach white when they come out of velvet.
people got to do that.
I don't get it. There's been a couple here in New York over the years too, but usually people bust that off pretty quick. But yeah, we're actually looking at making a few shirts for the 100 proof collection.
But the story behind these is that it's a friend of a friend thing. But a guy I work with said he had these, wanted me to bring them to the show. He said they were from Saskatchewan, and he says he knows the guy up there that owns some acreage. And I guess up there it's so cold they don't really do food plots or anything. They actually feed them with hay, like round bales and square bales.
Yep.
So this farmer would go put hay out there, and he went out there to drop some more hay one day, and these two were laying right there at his hay pile.
Yep.
So,
yeah, that's wild.
And far as the guy I work with, and far as he knows, no one ever killed him. They said they found sheds from him the year after this also, but then never saw him again, never had pictures of him, nothing.
That's crazy.
So I don't, he just died, or someone actually shot him, or
Yeah.
probably a dire wolf.
Yeah, dire wolf got him. Bo says was the guy from Utica named Jake, actually.
Jake
Was his name.
Jay, right?
Yep. And then
Jeff, what's up,
Fox.
man?
Big shout out to Jeff as well. And
Jeff
Dallas.
was working his ass off.
Yeah,
Man.
Jeff and Dallas were hammering the score
Yeah.
table.
Them scores. Kind of felt bad we didn't have you out there, but
I've
We
bet.
were we needed somebody in there with the general because there was no way I was going to be able to handle all that.
No, no. And that would have been a lot to ask of my wife with watching Nora and running raffles at the same time. You know.
Yeah,
Um,
it was a lot of work. A lot of people put a lot of work in, a lot
yep.
of time.
Yep. And
Shout out to Bill for doing all the organizing and planning
mhm.
he did. But
Yep. Billy for running the MC for the day and stuff like that, and all the guys that came and helped sell the raffle boards and that kind of stuff. You
yep,
know, our I'm trying to think of everybody's name, and I'm not gonna think of the rest of them now that I just said the one guy's name, but um, Jimmy and all them. So
Big Jim.
yeah, big Jim. So thanks guys for all the help. That it was definitely a group effort, dude, that made it as successful as it was. So um,
And I got a lot of positive feedback from people I knew that
mhm,
went.
yep. Um, it was really good, but yeah, I like I said, big thanks to Jeff and Dallas for doing the scoring. I've been there on that side of the scoring table for that event, and it is a very, very long day.
Well, if you saw the picnic tables full, I think there was like two,
Two or three,
three
maybe.
picnic tables just full of
Yeah,
sheds.
like 10-foot tables, not like little 4-footers or whatever.
Yeah,
Like full on
big.
10-foot tables, and all you see is antler.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
So, and I think we'll do the kind of similar categories. I think the biggest bag one is kind of lopsided because a lot of guys aren't finding more than a couple, if that.
Yeah,
So
I don't know. Biggest bag's cool, but
Jeff said, "Did you throw a tape on those sheds?" Not yet. Didn't
no,
have
I'm
time to
just
that
thinking.
day, and
We will. We'll
we'll
sit
get
down and have a couple beers and measure them up one day.
a lot of
See
stuff
how
going
it
on.
went.
It's gonna be
Well, the guy that actually had these has a couple bucks I believe he wants to put into the Northeast Big Buck Club, so we got to plan a time to go meet up with him, whether he comes here and we enter him or
yep,
we go to his house. He's not too far from us, so.
yeah, we'll be able to make that happen. Um,
And a thanks to him for
letting them bring us to the
trusting,
event. Sure.
trusting me to take these things and
Yep.
show them off in an event, making sure they don't walk off.
Yep. Yeah, well, they're hard to. You can't just stick them in your pocket either.
Yeah.
So, um, but yeah, it's been good. Um, you're pretty much all done with what you wanted to get done before season, right?
Yeah, I got a friend of mine gave me a bag of soybeans, and Liza's got a stockpile of sunflowers that she dries out and
Mm.
redoes. So this year, with it all going to be corn on that piece, I think I'm just going to do a little strip of mixture of soybeans and sunflowers. I
Along
think
where the
this
hundred
year,
proof was.
just to try and use up some of the stuff that I got,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll see how it goes. But
So,
yeah, and then
I still have some clover seed available.
yeah, you've been
What?
moving some seed though.
Mm-hmm. Well, moved a bunch at Shed Fest. We have. I say we. Um, I have a screening block. Which is sourced from Northwoods. I have it broke down in small containers for what I'm calling blind blocker.
Hmm.
It's Northwoods HD screen that's just been measured out in a container size, which is what I've always done is put a pound in a bag, and that's what covers like a ground blind or a tower like almost perfect. So I call that blind blocker, and that way you gotta buy a whole bag. You can buy a
Yeah.
partial and cover your blinds and towers that way. If you only got like one or two to cover.
And it's not to say that couldn't measure up something if you want some screening for access.
Oh yeah, if you want extra acreage of screening, absolutely, I can hook you up with plenty. I should have more than enough. I'm thinking, but now that I said that, I probably won't. Um, People have been asking about wheat and rye. That'll probably be in around July or August usually. Um, it's usually when it comes in, so that's usually when I buy it. Turnips and brassicas and all that stuff, that'll be closer to closer to probably June, I would say. I usually get it sometime early to mid June. That way it'll be ready for July and August pickups for your brassica plots. Um, Also have Milo because everybody's been talking about it, and it's the new sexy food plot crop I think of the year. So I do have Milo available, very limited quantity. The shipping was like $80 to get the bag here because of the weight. So because I only bought a bag's worth, um, because it's pretty pricey plus the shipping. So we'll see if I have to up it for next year. Right now, I got enough for me to do a little bit of it in 2 plots. That's kind of my plan with it. I also have some corn coming from NWTF too, if anybody does need corn. Um, yeah, and then the clover and chicory, I still have some of that. I still have only I think 2 or 3 containers of the 6 pack mix.
Yeah.
Because I stopped making that because everybody wanted the nitro boost and the 6 pack mix.
And
Um,
then,
so
just a thanks for the support for everybody that has purchased seed that's
yeah,
tuning
absolutely.
in. I don't think we have been on. I think we should wrap up the last 15 minutes because I don't think we've been on since the deer age stuff.
No, we haven't. That's a very good point.
I think we should talk a little bit about that. Maybe
Yep.
give Whitetail Analytics a little shout out and
Yep.
explain what they do and what they're about.
Yep. So, and I've been getting messages from folks too since we put up the posts on,
I've been getting a lot of questions from
where to
people.
send it to. We get a lot of the pictures of a deer in the back of a truck, and then somebody says, "How old is this deer?" It's like, well,
There's a little more to it,
yeah. Um,
and
so
there's a ton of ways that people have come up with to try and age a deer. Um, Features of a deer, swaying its back, throat to brisket, all sorts of stuff that people have come up with. Um,
body characters can get you close. I tell that to
yeah,
folks.
they definitely get you close. Then there's the teeth wear,
Hmm.
but then there's, where was the deer living? What was the deer eating? That's
Hmm.
going to cause,
Yep.
I mean, I think those probably mountain deer probably get more wear on their teeth because
Well,
they're,
more browse and more acorn and
yeah,
stuff
they're
like that.
eating harder
Sure.
stuff instead of the, agricultural deer, I guess the farmland deer, I guess you would call it.
Hmm.
But the whitetail analytics is it's called a cementum amuli, and they go through and they take the 2 front bottom teeth, and you would cut it out whole, root and everything. You have a little kit that they give you. You put the teeth in this kit, you fill it out. It has a kit number, and that'll be your number. You give a little description of the deer you're sending in, so you
Hmm.
can keep it for your records. And they have different um,
Speeds.
yeah, there you go. Speeds of when you can get it back. Obviously, the sooner you get your results back, the more it's going to cost. But I think their base price is like 30, $40.
I think it's
30, 30,
33 plus your envelope to ship it, so it's about $35.
$35. And they send it in, they take those teeth, they cut them in half, and I believe they use
A
like
dye solution.
yeah, some kind of dye solution and possibly just kind of use like a little laser thing or something that kind of shaves a
Hmm.
thin piece off,
Yep.
and they put it under a microscope and they use a dye solution, and just like you would on a tree, like we've all cut trees down and seen the
Hmm.
rings,
Yep.
and it's kind of the same idea. They count the rings inside the tooth, and how many rings there are, I believe, is the age of the
Yep.
deer.
So with that, I believe it's the calcium deposits that form in the teeth, and that's based like cyclitic of seasons, like Nate said, similar to rings on a tree. So, um, yeah, and we posted about all the bucks. Nate's buck, Clementine, his bow buck ended up coming back at 4.5. Um,
Which we had him at
we figured 3 on
3.
the hoof. Um, but again, they're all different individuals, as the rest of these will show you guys. My buck with the bow this year was 4.5. That's what I figured him at. Um,
Yep.
that's where I figured he
Six
was.
pack. We were thinking possibly 3.5 on him too, but we're
Well, just we didn't have any history with either one of those
yeah,
deer
we're like
either.
he could go 3.5, but with his I don't know, just the way he was built and everything, we were kind of
Sure,
thinking more 4.5.
sure. And then Big Willie, Nate's gun buck that he killed on the last day of season. He ended up coming back 5.5, but that deer was
That was a hard one if
you would have been
you're
no way to body judge that deer because he had been just run down. I don't know if he had infection going to. I don't think so because I think he would have died before he got that run down. I think he just wasn't getting around that well.
he had his front leg shot off.
Yep,
All that was hanging or holding that front leg on there was
a little bit of hide,
a little
really.
bit of hide, and that leg was just dragging.
Yep.
Maybe a little bit of muscle, but not really nothing.
Hmm.
And honestly, look at his teeth and
We kind of figured maybe 3 or 4.
3, 4,
Yeah,
kind of just like the bow buck,
based on the
my
wear.
bow
Yep.
buck. But yeah, actually ended up coming back at 5.5. So that was a little bit of a surprise, but a cool surprise.
Yep. And then I guess the biggest surprise or shock was Dono, the one I shot with my pistol, and then finished off with the rifle.
Yeah,
Um, but he ended up coming back at 6.5, which I had been on the fence with that deer and encounters with that deer for multiple years. Actually, it was the first buck, um, the first, I guess, good racked buck that I had come by me with the pistol that I could have shot. And that was 2 years before I shot him.
and
So, and I figured he was at least 4, maybe 5. I didn't anticipate him being 6.
which his antlers never. He grew mass, but he never really grew anything
Nope.
impressive with like length, beams.
His beams were short. His tines weren't overly tall.
He had mass for sure.
He had really good mass with the age. Had okay brow tines. And then that injury to his back foot kind of threw that wonky rack. So maybe that was
So what did he end up scoring?
107.
So I was gonna say I thought it was like 112. Yeah,
Yeah, he
right, right.
didn't end up making. Well, when I rough scored him, so I'm sure if Andy scores him, he actually might make 110 to make it in the book. But, um, but anyway, so yeah, he was our number one buck that we were after this past year. And the morning I shot six pack, I was actually in there hunting Dono, um, and we went in there with Nate and Owen to recover six pack on the ridge because it was really quick and easy. And then we got in there and pulled him out. Owen was hooping and hollering in the woods like that. And then I checked the card like I don't know, like a month later, and like 3 hours after we left, same trail that I shot six pack coming off of. Here comes Donald rolling out the same trail, right into that little hidey hole plot, kill plot on the top of the ridge there. So,
Yeah, it's pretty amazing what you can get away with in the woods during the rut. And this just
mm-hmm.
seems like them bucks have one thing on their mind, and they don't care.
Yeah.
Like literally, Owen was in there just screaming, not like crying, screaming. He was just being a
Well, he
kid
heard
and
the
just
echo. He heard the echo
yeah,
over the valley.
yeah, and he thought it was fun, so he just kept yelling because he could hear his echo.
Yeah.
But uh, but just to answer Jeff real quick. No, we haven't thrown a tape to him.
No.
And then
Jeff said definitely seeing more big bucks due to quality deer management. It's come around a lot in the last decade plus at least. And then I think it's getting better every year. There's better and better deer because of the age. Thought Nate only shot 2-year-olds. Yeah, I mean
so
that's
yeah, I mean that's so that goes back to the shirt that's gonna we're gonna make. What what does it say again?
a 2-year-old's worst nightmare. And then hashtag hell of a 2-year-old.
So might be some of them shirts coming up for sale.
Yep.
Uh,
Got a couple other ideas, but the 2-year-old one, the hashtag hell of a 2-year-old, is kind of our staple on our
fun
posts now.
fun inside joke, but
Yep. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's good, and not saying that we haven't killed 2-year-olds because I killed 2-year-olds.
nothing wrong with killing 2-year-olds in
No,
my opinion.
I forget I've killed fawns.
If you're
If
you
you've been
know
hunting
if
long
you
enough.
if you're fairly new to the game,
Hmm.
or you don't have a lot of kills under your belt, or you're limited on time, then yeah. I think we need the T-shirt. What do they got? Like the Only Dads thing with the fat guy doing the pose,
Yeah.
the silhouette of the fat guy. We need a couple fat guys in a hot tub with a crossbow sitting behind them.
For our crossbow shirt.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Bo says I love killing 2-year-olds. Absolutely, dude. Awesome. I got to get one of those shirts, Jeff says. Yeah, so we got a couple other ideas for shirts, but yeah, we need something with the crossbow. I think that'd be pretty good. Um, maybe some spin off of Van Helsing or something, or I think maybe like you said, the silhouette of two guys in a hot tub with a crossbow hanging in the tree above them, or something. Yeah,
Van Velsing.
yeah. It's okay, buddy. I use a rope to cock my bow too. With the Brokeback Mountain picture. Will you cock my bow for me?
Will you cock my bow for me?
Oh boy. Here we go. Now
bet you
Bo's probably dying laughing right now.
Those shirts would fly.
Oh yeah, they would sell out for sure. Well, but that's the nice thing with Volcom is it's to order, so
Yeah.
they'll ship right to you, your size and whatever you want, for it.
So we got some fun T-shirt designs coming up that we're gonna get posted. We got to get the Volcom thing up, and then we're gonna post that, and the link will be directly on our Facebook. You'll be able to go over and look through all
The collection or
the
whatever.
collection of stuff our silly asses come up with.
Yeah, why not? So everybody needs a funny T-shirt.
They're the best ones.
Mm-hmm. Make great holiday presents to go along with your knives.
Go along with your local crossbow hunter
Yeah.
for a good Christmas present for your local crossbow hunter.
Yeah, I love Jeff's comment here. My first deer was a button buck. Absolutely. Been there for a lot of kids' first deer.
Mine was a spike horn. I still got the spikes.
Yeah.
I made a plaque out of them. I hang
That's your towel rack, right?
it's my towel rack.
I thought so. Oh, geez.
And
Speaking of towel
then
racks,
I wood burnt above it, brown and down.
Yep. And so speaking of towel racks, I'm sorry that we're in the 11th hour of the show right now, but Jim Wilkes made a bunch of custom antler creations.
Shout out to Jim. He
Yeah.
does pretty cool stuff.
Yep, he did a couple lamps that went to one of the prize winners for category, and then I actually won the curtain rod holders that kind of go on the edge of your curtain so you can wrap your curtains around them. I might use them for a towel rack too. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. And then he made a fish, which the fish was pretty cool.
I like the fish.
Yeah, that was pretty neat. And I was looking through my bin. I got a pile of like little forkies and spikies and stuff. I was like, I can make one of them.
Yeah.
So
Something doesn't mean anything to you.
yeah, it doesn't have a story with it.
Maybe Jim would be willing if you had like you were talking, like a sentimental set of sheds, kind of like the Dino ones, and make a.
Yeah, I thought about that. I think
That way they're just not in a basket laying there. You can actually kind of display them in a way.
yeah, Hannah wants an antler lamp or two. She said. So I'm wondering how many she really wants. So she was asking me which ones, because that's the first thing that Jim told her is make sure it's not one that he really cares about or really, likes or whatever. So I think Dono's their attack, their hole. It's a really cool story with the deer. I think we're probably going to use Dono's sheds for that, and if he can figure out a way to do 3 of them, if not 2's good too. I'm sure he'll play around with it, and But that way, it's like you said, it's not just sitting there on the pile with the rest of them.
Yeah.
I do have a new little small ladder down there that I got all the bigger sides hanging on now, and then all the matches are hanging on a stringer, from bucks I've killed, and then like St. Patrick's are all on the barrel in front of the barrel mount.
Yeah, I got all my decent sheds we found on pieces hanging on the.
Yeah, your one's a hammer,
gun.
dude. I don't think anybody's seen that one yet. This is probably close to the biggest one you found, score wise. I mean, it's right there in the ballpark with the other one.
Yeah. This one me and Owen picked up. I think I posted a video of it.
Yeah, that thing's.
He's got some serious time length.
When you picked it up out of the woods at first and saw the tines, I was like, oh, that's a decent shed. And then you pick it up and you hand it to Owen, and I'm like, whoa, like that's a really, really nice 4 point side, dude.
It wraps right around Owen.
Yeah. No, it's probably, I don't know, he's probably 30, 30s, low 30s, 8.
Yeah.
Really solid deer. And you think this deer is still alive. This is from 2 years ago.
Mhm.
So
I think that he is.
he might still be alive. He's still out there somewhere, maybe. Um, Jeff Fox said, yes, sir. And then my dad comments in, says, two girls in the hot tub. Hell with the guys. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we're just making the inside joke for the
inside
crossbow guys.
joke for the crossbow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then for turkey season,
Cartel.
Whitetail hooked Dad up with his. I forgot what you ran. Did you like the Papa Smurf? I can't remember. Was that the one you liked?
The color of it was cotton candy.
Oh, maybe you had like the Joker or something like that. Can't remember. I've always had
But I
the.
just had a basic cut in mind. So I was talking with Brittany. I'm like, I'm not like a super experienced mouth caller by
No,
any
and
means.
I just run corner cuts on my calls. So I just run a.
He goes, oh, I'll just be a
He just
basic cut.
cuts it up like a
Last year when we did the,
little corner cuts on it.
it was last year we did the show with him in their shop, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Brittany whipped me up one. That was
Mhm.
pretty cool.
Yep. Well, and that's nice. He can, he'll sit there and he'll figure out. He'll listen to you and he'll be like, "You need more airflow on this side or more, more resistance." And then he'll pull out some different reeds and he'll go with some different thicknesses and maybe add a reed or take out a reed from the
Yeah.
one he gave you and maybe do a different little cut.
Yeah, I don't know if you can actually go into their shop and actually work with them on a
Uh huh.
call.
Yep.
I'm
Hmm.
assuming you could, but that's kind of what he did with me after the show that night. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, they do. Basically, I guess it's like a custom fitting, you know, because once you're in there and you got the one you like and runs well for you, you're gonna buy more of them.
Hmm.
So like I said, I've always liked this, the Hydro series or whatever, and then I like the Papa Smurf. I got that one that's kind of a ghost cut, and then I have Tyler clip up one like the Prophet and Preacher,
I think that's the
pretty
cut.
similar to that,
Yeah.
just the corners. Yeah, they come out pretty good. Um,
But yeah, I was picking his brain on how he makes them and how, gets them to work with the layering and the thicknesses.
mhm.
And then he was picking my brain about his digital micrometer he had there so he can measure the thicknesses of the latex and everything.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was fun working with him.
Yep. Jeff Fox has got to go. Thanks for letting me be part of the Shed Fest. Let me know if you need any other help. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the help scoring that day. Like I said, it definitely
Yeah.
wouldn't have been able to do it without a second scorer there, with as much bone was there. So, but yeah. So I think I actually remembered everybody now.
There's,
Oh,
it
and
took a
my
lot
mom. I forgot to thank my mom for throwing together that Girl Scout cookie basket, which your mom won.
which my mom won. Yep. I'm sure my dad's got half of them cookies gone by now.
But I swear, I think that well, the one that had the most was that Plano um, wet box that had I think that had a cell camera with it and a bunch of stuff. That was kind of the big general raffle one. That one had the most tickets, but I think the second most was the Girl Scout cookies.
Hmm.
So,
Them Girl Scout
and not
cookies.
saying because I mean all those buckets were pretty damn freaking full.
Oh,
Oh, Mel,
Mom Al, you're famous.
you know, been digging.
Yeah,
Had to
her and
quit the
Ted been
pause.
giving the woodchucks a
You know,
run for their money around here.
she did not like that cutting just now.
Didn't know what to think of that.
Nope, didn't know what to think at all. But all right, at the 1 hour mark, Nate, what else we got?
Well, I think we covered everything we wanted to.
Yeah, I think that
But
covers it pretty good.
but yeah, turkey season. Get your calls, get ready, get your stuff together, shoot your gun.
Yeah.
Oh, Walmart, Track Supply, bunch of places have a bunch of stuff on clearance,
Mm-hmm.
so you can pick up some targets pretty cheap.
Yep. Yep. Oh, look. Cartel live on TikTok.
There he is.
So,
I thought you were FaceTiming. I was like, Jesus, that was quick.
nope. So, um, yeah, I think that's a good idea, John. Maybe our podcast could showcase a weekly property for sale, talking about, one of our listings or something like that. A featured a good recreational property for sale. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What do you want to call it? This commercial is brought to you by Whitetail Properties Real Estate. For all of your recreational land, homes on acreage, ranch, farm, and hunting needs,
Yeah.
contact Whitetail Properties Land Specialist today. There's your infomercial. So yeah, I could probably whip something up and whip up a little.
Give them the Whitetail Properties start paying us for advertising.
Yeah, we could.
Give them a plug every episode.
Yeah,
This property features blah blah blah.
yeah,
Like a half-hour intermission. And
Yeah.
just
yeah,
do a little video of the property.
yeah. We could throw that with some of the featured listings that we do the drone aerial
You
videos
see a lot
and stuff
of
for.
Yeah, you see a lot of the YouTubers do like their sponsors or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Give them little plugs or whatever.
Yeah, midway through the episode, have it make like an auto hit. I can drop the videos in,
Yeah.
so we know how to do that now with the software. So, John says you guys are a pleasure to watch. Well, thank you, John.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I do try
Try to keep it fun.
Yeah, try to keep it practical to the everyday kind of hunter, and that's kind of what we've always done. This has just been a
Practical, everyday kind of hunter, and we always kind of wanted to keep it as just
informal
buddies.
as yeah.
Informal, but keep it like just buddies having a beer talking about deer hunting.
Yep. And that way it lets folks join into the conversation about it too and ask questions with what they're seeing or what they need. So, but yeah, so we'll be back maybe not next week, if not the week following. Um, maybe do a pre-turkey season episode.
Hopefully, we have some good turkey content and post some videos of
Yep. Yeah.
us messing around. I actually have a
So
turkey.
so 2 weeks from now would be turkey season eve for New York.
Yeah.
So
I actually have a. I'll be going turkey hunting in Ohio.
oh, you are gonna go?
Yeah.
At the second weekend or something?
Third.
That's what it is. Yep, I gotta figure it out. I got a couple invites to go to different turkey camps too. I got an invite to go up to the Adirondacks to go to one.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, and I got an invite to go to another one down the southern tier. So, and then I got an invite for one in Chenango County. So I gotta figure out.
So
I gotta work too while I'm there, but I can play a little bit.
I'll talk with the guy I'm going with. As long as he's cool with me videoing some stuff, we'll have some content for that.
Yep. Yep.
I'm excited about that. Hunt something in a different state. Don't really get
Yeah.
to do that a whole lot yet. So
Yeah, we'll get there. All right, guys. Well, we try to keep these right around an hour. We're at hour 5, so thank you all for tuning in. If you like this content, you can find more of it on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, anywhere you're listening to a podcast, really.
Yep.
You can search 100 Proof Whitetails and look at a topic or the video description on it and see if that's one that might interest you. And there's a lot of good content in there and a lot of good conversation that comes from the viewers out there like you guys. So can't thank you guys enough for the support, whether it's just viewing or buying merch to keep the podcast at a net loss lower.
a reasonable cost.
A reasonable net loss. We appreciate it. So
All this fun new stuff we're getting with these different software things.
yeah,
Getting a little pricey.
with the chop ups and everything and the stream hosting and all that stuff. So it costs, but
everything does.
yep, absolutely. And we're happy to put together a good product for us. So thank you guys for the kind words and the support. And till next time, be safe, shoot straight if you're going out of field, have fun, and catch you next time, guys.
See ya.
See you.